We live surrounded by opinions recycled, rehearsed, repeated. But here's a question we rarely ask ourselves before speaking or writing. Do I actually believe what I'm about to say? And if so, philosophical writing begins not on the page, but in the mind. Before anything is written, it must be thought through. That's why the first step is reflection. Let's say you're faced with a classic paradox, the Ship of Theseus. If a ship has every one of its parts replaced over time, is it still the same ship? Pause here. Don't rush to Google. Don't check what philosophers say. Ask yourself, what do you believe? Your instincts might lean toward function. It's still the same ship because it looks the same, it acts the same. Or maybe you side with material continuity. If every part changes, it's not the same anymore. It doesn't matter where you land, as long as you land somewhere honest. Write down that raw belief in a sentence or two. Not a perfect sentence, not a thesis, just a thought with your voice on it. Then comes the most important part. Question it. Ask yourself, why do I believe this? What assumptions am I making? Would someone disagree with me, and if so, how? Could there be exceptions? This isn't self-doubt, it's self-dialogue. It's Socratic. What you're doing now is not weakening your belief. You're strengthening its roots. You're testing your thoughts, not to break them, but to shape them. You begin to see the layers beneath. Maybe you realize your view assumes identity is about function, not material. But then, what if function is preserved artificially? Does that still count? What if a perfect replica is made of the old parts? Which one is the real ship? This is what philosophical reflection feels like. Uncertainty, tested gently by curiosity. Now, with all that dialogue in your head, you're ready to build a structure. Start with a basic breakdown. Claim, what do I believe? Reason, why do I believe it? Example or counterexample, what challenges or supports my belief? Conclusion, what does this reveal about the bigger idea? Let's try it. Claim, the ship remains the same if its function and structure are preserved. Reason, because identity is based on continuity of purpose, not material. Counterexample, but if you build another ship from the old parts, doesn't that also count as the original? Conclusion, maybe identity isn't singular. Maybe it exists in multiple forms: material, functional, perceived. From this outline, you can now write clearly and purposefully. For instance, if the identity of a ship lies in its function and continuity of purpose, then replacing its parts over time does not alter what it is. Identity, in this view, is not a collection of static parts, but a dynamic continuity. To say the ship is no longer the same is to mistake replacement for loss. Identity endures where meaning and purpose remain. That paragraph didn't appear out of nowhere. It was shaped by belief, tested by doubt, and refined by structure. Now, zoom out. This is more than a writing method. It's a thinking method. Learning doesn't begin with information. It begins with attention. We don't absorb facts to relate them. We compare new things to old ones. We learn through resemblance. We draw lines from one idea to another. Learning is the act of branching. And sometimes, learning is the courage to break those branches, to let go of a belief, to redraw the line. That's why your writing doesn't just express thought, it reveals the way thought evolves. It shows the shape of your ideas under pressure. And through that, it sharpens them. This is how I write philosophy. I reflect on what I believe. I question myself as if I were someone else. I build a simple logical structure. I translate that into clear writing. I refine that for polish, but for clarity and coherence. But there's one more thing. I don't write to sound profound. I write to understand, to confront my confusion honestly, to leave a trail I can return to make thought visible. And the truth is, most knowledge doesn't feel like certainty, it feels like persistence, the act of continuing to think through doubt. So next time you sit down to write, don't aim for a conclusion. Start with a question. Ask yourself, what do I believe? Then, why do I believe it? Then keep going. Let your thinking stumble. Let your sentences fracture. Let your meaning rebuild itself. And in that process, you'll find more than an answer. You'll find a mind that is learning to see itself. And that's philosophy.